What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the two-gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Welcome back, everyone, to another Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. This is a session where I tell you about games that I think you are gonna love. I want to thank everyone that's been coming here and joining us. You know that we drop a video every day. We do 2 playthroughs a week. We have a lot of fun here on this channel, so thank you to everyone that's been subscribing. But now let's get on with this. Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. Like I said, this is where I tell you about games that I enjoy and I think you are going to enjoy as well. Now today's game is a retro game. Yes, this is a game all the way back to the dark days of the 1980s. The start of the 80s, actually, 1981. Milton Bradley came out with a game that pretty much changed tabletopping. They came out with a game called Dark Tower. This was an electronic game. It had a giant tower in the center of the round board that controlled everything. The tower was like your dungeon master, if you're familiar with D&D. One thing that this game showed me was how much fun a one-player game can have, because it did support between 1 and 4 players. Now this game it gave me and my friends so much fun for so many years straight. The replayability of this game was almost infinite, my friends. At least we always found it to be that way. But why am I taking time to tell you about a game that is so old and has literally been out of print almost since the beginning due to legal contractions? Yeah, because of legal problems, this game did not have a very long life on the store shelves. That also made it very hard to come by as a collector's item. But fear not, my friends. Restoration Games, this January 2020, will be bringing us an all-new updated version called Return to Dark Tower. And I am so hyped for this. I wanted to talk about the original game first, because I am still, after all these years, hyped about the original Milton Bradley game. And what a great way to lead us all into the new game. All right, my friends, I think I'll see you down at the bench.
Last night I journeyed backwards in time to the medieval world of Dark Tower. In this amazing game, I had to find 3 keys, lay siege to the tower, and defeat the enemy within. Each move was a challenge. The computer kept track, giving me secret information, pictures, sounds, surprises. Then, ahead of my opponent, I made my move. The battle was joined, and I was victorious. Dark Tower.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me while I tell you about one of the greatest games I have ever played. That's not an easy thing to say, because I have played so freaking many of them over the decades. And no, not one of them really, truly matches up to the sensation and the feelings that I got in the early 80s from Milton Bradley's The Dark Tower. I remember everything so well. The commercial spots with Orson Welles. I remember getting the game. I remember the Christmas morning I unboxed it. And I also remember immediately calling my friend Dennis upstairs on the 5th floor and telling him, "Dennis, I got Dark Tower!" And that was one of the other few games that tore me and my friends away from Dungeons and Dragons. What really blew my mind about this game was that it had a one-player option. Now, before this, as far as fantasy games go, I remember being wowed by Hero Quest. I had that D&D feel, with all the players versus the one, and that one player, well, here in America, the rules called him Zargon, was kind of like the DM in a way. But Dark Tower changed everything. Here was a fantasy game, a fantasy board game that I could play even if no one else was around. Now, what is this game about? If you don't know it, let me fill you in. So in Dark Tower, it's a circular board with the title tower right in the center, which was a giant electronic piece of machinery. Now the round board was sectioned off into 4 areas, and each player picked a color and an area to start in. Now you couldn't really do anything as far as finding the 3 keys that you needed to enter the tower in your own region. Now you could do things like maybe find a magic sword that will protect you from a dragon attack. You can have fights and build up money and go to the marketplace. And you can buy soldiers and food. You can buy a beast so you can carry even more gold and more food. Oh yeah, you need the food. This is also the first game I ever played that was resource management. If you don't have enough food, your soldiers start dying. That was a shock. As a kid playing the game, that was a shock. I had never had to deal with anything like that. And I still remember the little player boards that you would hold. It had little rows for your soldiers, for your food, for your gold. And it was like set up like 2 10-sided dice, because each row had a 0 to a 9. So you use these little red pegs. Now the only other place I'd seen these red pegs was Battleship. Even since then, I haven't seen a lot of use of it. But it was fantastic, using these pegs on the board to keep track of everything that you had. Things that you lost, things that you gained. That was a lot of fun. So you'd go around to these different areas, and you would try to find the 3 keys: the brass, the silver, and the gold. And once you had all 3 of them, you had to make sure you had a big enough army. And then you would storm the castle. The tower. And whoever succeeded in defeating the brigands, the monstrous brigands that were inside the tower, won the game. This game was amazing because outside of a role-playing game, I never really understood replayability in a board game until this came out. Yeah, this game, like I said, it tore me and my friends away from Dungeons and Dragons and Villains and Vigilantes and Marvel superheroes. It dragged us away from Gangbusters and Top Secret, from Gamma World, from Bushido, from all the games, all the role-playing games that obsessed us every day after school. Rushing home from school, getting rid of our book bags, going outside, meeting me in front of my building where I had a little station. My friends would sit on the stairs, and there was a little mounted area, like a side piece, that was kind of even with the next level of the stairs. So they would all sit there on the stairs, and I'd have my little DM station. It was amazing. And we would just play all day after school until the street lights came on. And if you're in my age category, you know what that means. That means it was time to go home for dinner, do your homework. Yeah, Dark Tower became it for the longest time. And it's hard to find nowadays. It was hard to find after the initial release even. There was legal problems. There was another couple of designers that had given Milton Bradley a design for a game that had a tower, an electronic tower that was keeping track of everything, and Milton Bradley turned them down. And then a couple of months later, whoa, they have Dark Tower out. So there was a big lawsuit after this game hit the store shelves. so it wasn't on the shelves for very long. And also because of that, there was no more made. That's why it's so hard to find nowadays. That's why if you find a working copy of the game, it's going to cost you a fortune. Fear not, my friends. Restoration Games, who recently just did a fantastic re-release, redesign of Fireball Island, is getting ready to kickstart a brand new return to Dark Tower. This is going to be a little bit different from what I've been reading. It's still going to be 1 to 4 players. I understand that it's going to have a competitive mode, like the normal game, plus it's also going to have a cooperative mode, and either the cooperative mode is, or it also is going to have a campaign mode, making it like an electronic D&D game. Well, I cannot wait for this Kickstarter, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video right now, to let you know how awesome, how freaking awesome that original game is. And if Restoration Games, if they do the same thing to this that they did to Fireball Island, what I mean by that is, give us what made the original game great, and then build on that, without taking anything away, just adding on to the already existing awesomeness. And if Restoration Games does that again, I don't know if there's going to be a new tabletop game for a long time that's going to top Return to Dark Tower. But this is all just speculation. I understand that. I want to make sure you do too. But still, all in all, unless when that Kickstarter drops in January 2020, unless I see something horrible about it, I already told my wife I am going to be backing whatever deluxe special edition top level they have to get my hands on 1 copy of the game. So if you enjoy tabletop adventures, if you enjoy fantasy games, if you, my friend at heart, enjoy Dungeons & Dragons, you have got to try Dark Tower, or the new one when it comes out, Return to Dark Tower. I'd say it changed my life, but D&D did that before this came around. But if there had been no D&D, this might have been the game to do it. All right, everyone, so go check it out. There's a ton of great videos, even some playthroughs on Dark Tower. Go check them out, and you'll see, I think, what I'm talking about. Awesome. Well, thank you much, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and checking us out over on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's so awesome when you go over and you see what we're doing over there. Thank you very much for your support. I want to give a great big shout out. You know what's coming. You know what I'm going to say. I want to give a great big shout out to everyone that's been going over to our Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store. Our print and demand store with hats, shirts, hoodies, mugs, steins, a whole bunch of other things that all have some general nerdy funniness on it or some more specific RPG-inspired humor. And even if you haven't bought anything, and I know there's been a few sales, I saw a few more sales go up this past month, but even if you didn't buy anything, even if you haven't purchased anything, I honestly want to thank you for just going over and taking a look. That really does mean a lot, that you gave us enough of your time to go over and take a look to see if there's anything you thought was worthwhile. That's amazing. You're awesome. You really are. Thank you so much. But you all know the biggest thank you I can ever give you is that you all come right here to our home on YouTube. You subscribe to the channel, you watch the videos, you like them, you comment on them, even if I don't always comment back as fast as I could. You're still there commenting. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for checking us out, for following us, for supporting Two Gun Pixie. I'm your buddy, Big Johnny G, and I am out of here.